Sleeper 2020, a series of conversations with explorers, artists, and thinkers in the world of hospitality experience and design.
Whether it's protecting people from the elements or surfaces from scuffs and stains, DuPont Tedlar protective film provides durable, long-lasting protection from the inside out. From buildings and transportation to aerospace and graphics, Tedlar delivers enduring value for you and your customers. Because your designs improve the way we live, travel, and communicate, they deserve the performance of Tedlar. Tedlar protective film provides design flexibility, and its ultraviolet, weather, fading and cracking resistance, combined with it not supporting either mold or mildew growth, helps to provide superior surface protection in even the most extreme environments. Additionally, Tedlar doesn't support bacterial growth, so it's safe for both you and the environment. Pliable and easily molded, Tedlar protective film enables the use of many unique texture designs and can be tailored to various gloss levels, thicknesses, and finishes. So whatever your design, Tedlar can protect it. Extend both the life and aesthetics of your next project with Tedlar.
Hello everyone and welcome to our Spotlight session in association with DuPont. My name's Ben Thomas, I'm the Assistant Editor at Sleeper Media, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Joe Mattis and Roberta Pecco Mattis from MPM Studios in New Jersey, as well as Julie Short, the Marketing Manager for Tedlar North America. So before we get stuck into the conversation, I'd like to ask my speakers to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about their backgrounds in hospitality and design. So Joe and Roberta, would you like to kick us off?
Sure. Well, us at MPM Studio, we've been in business for about 35 years now, and we do work all over the country, the United States. We're licensed in about 13 states. We do a lot of hospitality. Before MPM Studio, I worked at Golden Nugget, and Roberta worked at Yates Silverman, and we did a lot of work in Atlantic City and then branched off over the years into other areas, and we're currently doing some work now. Unfortunately, due to COVID, it's been kind of like staggering a little bit, but we're doing some work in Maryland and in Mississippi. And I'm a registered architect, and Roberta is a certified interior designer, and we work hand in hand. And we've been doing work for Harrah's now for almost as many years as we've been in business.
Perfect. And Julie, can you tell us a bit about your career with DuPont so far?
Yes, hello. I'm Julie Short, the North America Marketing Manager for Tedlar Advanced Materials. And I've been with this business for the past year now. I have a background in construction materials for the past 7 years, working with other DuPont innovations, but just more recently working as the marketing manager for Tedlar Wallcoverings and partnering with excellent companies just like.
Thank you. So we're here today to talk about the importance of cleanability. Obviously, it's a hot topic in a COVID climate. So Julie, could you just give us a quick overview of Tedlar, the collection, and what it offers that others in the sector may not?
Yes, DuPont Tedlar wall coverings are a type 2 wall covering with a type 3 durability and quality that cannot be matched. So the unique film that protects the Tedlar wall coverings helps it to withstand the scuffs, stains, and can be cleaned even with the harshest cleaning solvents. And in the past 20, 30 years, we actually have case studies that date back, that proves this concept, but as well as in the past 3 years, we've refreshed the brand and worked closely with companies like Indoor Walls by Tedlar that help us to create the new collections that are style forward and on trend that help meet designers' needs of today.
Great, and we know that obviously guests are going to want certain reassurances when booking the next trip, with obviously the pandemic going on. So how important do you think it is for hotels to actually emphasize that they work with brands like DuPont and that they have these certain hygiene standards and cleanable surfaces within their hotels?
Yeah, so we know that it's becoming increasingly important for surfaces to be cleaned in hotels and other places, no matter the venue, and more so for the business or patrons occupying the spaces to know that they are cleaned frequently. So what we're seeing is a lot, more need for understanding of how materials can withstand harsh cleaners or solvents during the disinfecting process. And this is new to a lot of us, that we haven't commonly cleaned more frequently since COVID actually happened. So we're even seeing new innovations for cleaning, such as UV light sanitation. And we're actually testing our Tedlar wall coverings to see how we withstand new cleaning options such as that, as we're all trying to find faster and more efficient ways to, disinfect a space.
Mm. Now, Joe and Roberta, I'd like to bring you guys in from a design perspective. When did you first begin collaborating with DuPont?
We had a meeting with the rep, and he showed us a demonstration of how durable and cleanable the product was, and we were really super impressed with the results of that. And we decided that that could be a good solution for the corridors, because our client was very concerned in the past, all the products that they used, they didn't wear well, they couldn't take abuse. And it was perfect timing that we even sent the rep to our client, Harris, which they saw the demonstration and they were sold right away. So we've been working for about a year with the rep, and we were very happy. And the client seems extremely pleased as well.
So you're talking about Harris. What characteristics from the Tedlar wall coverings sort of appealed to you guys to use within the corridors? Was it the durability, the cleanability for the high traffic spaces? Was that the main sort of selling point?
Well, it was the main selling point, both of those characteristics, because it's so important that when you visit a space, you don't see marred walls, you don't see dirt, that it's clean. And it just works really well with the housekeeping, that they can clean it quickly and still make the place look really supreme, a wonderful space.
And do you think that designers and architects are taking cleanability and hygiene more into consideration since COVID, or do you think that's something that was sort of bubbling up before and it's been highlighted during COVID?
Well, on our end, cleanability and durability has always been an important aspect. I think with COVID, it has been brought up to the forefront, but in the past, it has always been pretty important, because the housekeeping staff, their job, of course, is to make sure the spaces are clean, and they will use any kind of product necessary to do so. And in a lot of cases, those products can't hold up to the cleaning. So you definitely want to provide a product to where the client doesn't call you back in a month or two and say, hey, you know what? It's clean, but it's also fading, or the pattern is disappearing. No designer or architect ever wants to hear that. And so given the fact that, like we mentioned earlier, with COVID, with the bleaches and peroxide solutions, we know that the Tedlar will hold up to that, and we feel very comfortable with it.
And Julie, of course, obviously the pandemic has, like Joe and Roberta have said, sort of highlighted the issues around cleanability and the importance of it. Have you seen, from the DuPont side, have you seen an uptake in demand for sort of cleanable surfaces since the early this year, or do you think, again, it's something that was bubbling up before the pandemic?
Yeah, I think there's definitely been new attention from architects and designers that are, seeking materials that can meet the demands of cleaning, that can withstand, the fade and cracking as new cleaners that are, bleach mixed are coming about. So there's definitely been a heightened desire to learn as designers are trying to figure out what their spaces need, whether it is, trying to add more space, such as partitions, or, spreading out furniture. But really what we're seeing is the surfaces that are being cleaned need to withstand that. So luckily, with the value we can bring the client with Tedlar wall coverings, we're able to match that new increased cleanability.
And Joe and Roberta, obviously you work across different sectors, hospitality, healthcare, entertainment. Does the level of sort of cleanability needed vary depending on which sector that you're working in, or is it something that you see sort of equally across the demand for it across different sectors?
I think some of it varies more. Healthcare seems to be more very demanding, that it has to meet those qualifications, and hospitality is getting a little bit more insistent that these products that we use can last and durable with any cleaners that housekeeping is now incorporating in their cleaning schedule.
So back to Harrah's, can you guys give us a little bit about the design inspiration behind that property, how long you were working on it for, and talk us through some of the spaces that the hotel has to offer, and also where DuPont is featured within the hotel?
Well, don't judge me by the color of my hair, but we've been working with Harrah's for quite a long time. Actually, this is our third tower designing with Harrah's, and Harrah's has developed a very high-end standard for their looks for their hotels. And as each project progressed, we tended to morph, so to speak, into better and better products that you learn from experience, or through the way that the projects or the products that you've specified into the projects have performed. So given that, we're as many times as someone will tell you that a product will hold up to a particular use or something to that effect, every once in a while you get one that fails. So we're always very careful to make sure we do our homework when we specify material. And when we got to this third tower, working with the Tedlar people, we felt very, very comfortable because of the demonstration they showed us of the products that Tedlar will hold up to.
And you've designed a number of different hotels in New Jersey, across the East Coast of the US. So how does the Harrah's Towers differ from other properties that you've designed?
Well, the casino client can be really abusive with the rooms and with the corridors, and they demand a lot. And Harrah's tries to meet that demand every time and still make their hotels look as best as possible. In other hotels, it's a little bit different, a little bit more laid back, I guess. Harrah's is very demanding on the design and the performance of all the products that we specify.
And are you planning on working and collaborating with DuPont in the future? Do you see the partnership sort of evolving on further projects going forward? Is there anything that you've perhaps got in the pipeline that you think is a good fit for the brand?
We definitely plan on using Tedlar wall covering in the future. We find that on this project, the Harrah's Tower, as a matter of fact, those were customizable prints and solids that we had to use. The performance from Tedlar was great. They delivered on schedule faster than we thought, because as in casino hotels, changes really occur pretty quickly all the time. So we feel that they can meet that need, and product looks good. The designs of the products that are coming out look really good. And the performance on delivering the product and any changes that occur during the project have been phenomenal.
And Julie, obviously the bespoke side of things for DuPont is quite a big aspect of the Tedlar wall coverings. You guys do lots of different bespoke designs. Is that something that you think hotel clients are looking for more now, or is that something that's always been quite popular among sort of hotel clients?
Yes, yeah. I mean, aside from the trendy collections that we do take the designer's input as we're developing, the ability for Tedlar wall coverings to be customized to meet the client's need, depending on, the color mix or embossing style. We are now able to have a designer be more inclined to choose Tedlar wall coverings with that. And, the added ability to clean away any stains with a dry cloth or wet cloth, depending on the mark, is even better. And we, want to make sure that we're educating our customers that it's not just the beautiful collections, but the ability to disinfect the Tedlar wall coverings to support the cleaning efforts. We can meet today's demand.
So you guys obviously turn around the wall coverings, the bespoke wall coverings, about 4 to 6 weeks, I think is what I read, the bespoke. So is that something that you think hoteliers are looking for, that speed in turnaround, or is it a longer process, obviously, when you're designing projects?
I think that coming out of what we've endured with the economic downturn, that as timelines are going to be, I believe, sped up again, and there's going to be new deadlines to meet, we at DuPont Tedlar Wall Coverings, we are there to help assist that. And we do have a lot of in-stock patterns, but when it comes to the custom, we can work fairly quickly. And we've even recently launched a new collection, the Color Theory collection, that gives designers actually 420 options between solid colors and embossing types. So depending on the need, we are definitely there to help with the support of Indoor Walls by Tedlar.
And Joe and Roberta, is that selection something that appeals to you as designers? Do you want a sort of a wide variety to sort of choose from? And obviously you want every property that you design to be unique. So does that wider selection help in that respect?
Absolutely. As designers, we're always looking for something that can be a little bit edgy or a little bit forward in their look. And the fact that the combination of the schedule, the quick schedule, and then the fact that you can customize it quickly is something that's really important to us and to our clients.
I'd like to look ahead as well in this session and talk about perhaps the sort of trends, the design trends that might come off the back of the pandemic. So we'll start with Joe and Roberta. What do you think the main trends will be coming off the back of the pandemic, and when do you expect those to sort of come to fruition?
I think the main trend is like a calming feel and look to most of the hotels, or to the rooms and the corridors. And I think that Tedlar offers so many that we can use that. And I think, again, what Julie was saying is, I think it's going to be a quick process once we get back on our feet. So I think that Tedlar meets that demand and that challenge that I think will be necessary in the future.
And Joe, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that trends will sort of come to fruition immediately after we get back on our feet, or do you think it'll take a little bit more time? Or
No, I think our clients are very, very anxious to get moving again. So things are gonna, if we can, we will be speeding up pretty quickly. And again, the customization aspect of their wall covering, or any finish for that matter, but primarily wall covering because it has to take a lot of abuse and durability. It's always going to be very, very important in order to make sure that these products hold up to the cleanability issues that everybody's having. And I do agree with Roberta in that the design intents are going to be leaning more toward trying to be very confident feeling, but yet calming and cool and edgy. We're always looking for cool and edgy.
And do you think that will vary depending on location, or do you think that's something that we'll see sort of worldwide? Obviously, that every country is at a different stage of the pandemic and how it's dealt with it, and obviously the spikes in certain regions around the world. Do you think that the design trends will vary on location, or do you think there'll be sort of a more of a generalized approach towards sort of cleanability and simplicity?
I think it might vary in location. I mean, in the United States, we're all very different on the East Coast to the West Coast to the North and South. There'll always be a local interpretation or a local flavor of the area that will come into pass on all the properties. So I'm not a good predictor, but I think that that's generally what's going to happen, is there will be a general trend of being calming, but then with still an influence of the local areas and what it means to them.
And Julie, would you agree in that sense? Do you think that going forward, sort of cleanability, simplicity, and minimalism, in a sense, will be a driving sort of force in hospitality design?
Yes, I do think so. We've been seeing that trend ongoing, as well as the need for more sustainable wall covering products to protect, the people occupying the space over time. So we, want to make sure Tedlar Wall Coverings does provide the HPDs for the products, and we are UL Green Guard Gold certified for the improved indoor quality. So we are making an effort to try to match the demands of the industry and develop products that are sustainable, like non-woven and paper-based products using digital inks, to really help give the architects, designers more options and meet those timeline to please their clients.
And Joe and Roberta, talking about sort of sustainability, how important is that to you guys as architects and designers nowadays? Is it something that's sort of grown as the years have gone on and people are more aware of it and are wanting that from a hotel?
Actually, it has grown quite a bit very quickly in that the sustainability concerns all over the globe are important. So we do, in fact, try to incorporate that aspect into all of our designs, as we always want to be very responsible professionals and want to extend that over to our clients as well. It's always nice when your client has that understanding where they want to be as sustainable as possible. Again, we need to make sure that we, that we do things in a very responsible manner, and the products that we specify are going to fall into that aspect.
And Julie, you were talking about the certifications there. Is that something that you're seeing from the DuPont side, that clients are wanting that information? They want to know where a product's come from, how sustainable it is. Is that something that's growing in that respect?
Yes, I do think now with the major focus on getting our information through the internet, there's a lot more databases and resources to kind of pull and learn about the material that's being specified for a product. So we make sure that we test the product with every collection to meet the UL certifications, as well as meet mold and mildew certification. And we do third-party testing, which sometimes, not as required as many, but we like to learn more about our products. So we've been testing to see that it does not support the growth of bacteria on the surface, and other learnings that we actually will be bringing to the industry that may actually change the conversation in the future.
And I'd like to sort of wrap up with a look ahead a little bit further in the future, let's say in sort of 10 years time. So Joe and Roberta, we'll start with you guys. Where do you see sort of hotels in 10, 15 years time? Do you think there'll be any sort of vast changes to what we're seeing now?
I think there will be a dramatic change on how we vacation, on where we stay, on what we ask, what we see, that it does meet some sustainability issues. And I think, there will be major changes that will happen, and that the best of us will try to make sure that does occur.
And I think you're even actually looking at it now, where you'll see that hotel rooms are starting to get smaller, and they're starting to accommodate to a wider range of clientele. So they're not so focused on one particular type of catchment. So I think in the future, I think that you're going to need to design for more types of vacationers and clientele, as well as what you're designing for now. So I do believe that down the road, far down the road, you're going to see quite a change.
And Julie, would you agree? What are your thoughts on sort of the future of hospitality in 10, 15 years time?
Yes, yeah, I think that what we're seeing is that the age of the consumers, like learning more about and expressing more of what they need. So I think that actually having a variance within the design, depending on the clientele base from the different generations, how much technology is used in the space, as well as, being on trend for what that audience needs. So I see that, whatever the client needs and understanding of their, patron would be very important going forward.
Now, we've asked this question to a few of our previous podcast and webcast speakers, so I'd like to ask it to you guys as well. Where do you think you'll be traveling to next? Do you have plans to travel internationally, or is it more sort of regional travel for you guys at the minute? We'll start with Joe and Roberta.
Well, we would love to travel internationally. We enjoy Europe, and we also enjoy going to resorts in hotspot areas like St. Lucia and other Mediterranean places as well. But I think for now we might just stay local and enjoy that as we can, and then hopefully in the future we will go back out to Europe if we can.
And Julie?
Yes, for now, just local trips on the East Coast of United States, but I am celebrating a birthday next year, and I would really like to travel to Europe or another part of the world for that. So fingers crossed that we can travel more easily next year.
Well, I think we've covered a great deal of ground there. I'd like to thank you all for being on the webcast again today. We're obviously looking forward to meeting you guys at trade events, and hopefully when those are permitted again, and see you guys projects working in the US and internationally. So I'd like to thank you guys again. For our listeners, be sure to go and check out the DuPont Tedlar website, and also MPM Studios, as those guys are doing some great work over in the US. That's all we've got time for. See you next time, and thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sleeper 2020, a series of conversations with explorers, artists, and thinkers in the world of hospitality experience and design.